Now I'm going to share with you a message that we engineered for a client in the home medical equipment space, and it worked really well. Now, I'm going to deliver it. This is not me that this is for. This is not my business. So if it sounds scripty, or if it sounds like I'm reading something, and it was just give me some latitude here that it's not me that's doing the call. This is somebody that we work with, okay? So it sounds something like this. Hi, John. This is Mike with the HME company. John, we help leading institutions like NYU with their incontinence patients who require supplies at home. And John, we've been in the boroughs for 12 years. And why NYU and patients and caregivers love us is because we're able to turn around the supplies in less than 2 hours. Yes, in New York, less than 2 hours. And that's why NYU uses us. And what I'd like to do is just share with you, I know you have a lot of incontinence patients. I talked to Betty over in nursing. And I just thought maybe this might be of value for your patients sometime in the future. With that in mind, when normally do you see your salespeople? Is it in the mornings or the afternoons? Okay, so that is the framework. Now go back to my recipe. How am I building credibility and rapport with this account? Exactly. NYU, right? Go back to grandma. Show me who your friends are. That tells you who you are. So if you're in New York, NYU is a very prestigious account that my client had. The reason why NYU really did use them was because of the reason that I put down there. And that was such a big competitive advantage that won the business. That's why I'm leading with. Okay? What else do you think? Where else am I building rapport? This is a nuance. But it's
2 hours or less. And that speed and that promise that that's your delivery said a lot.
absolutely, but it's not rapport. That's basically the hook. Right? Where am I building rapport? It's subtle. It's not as obvious as NYU. Excellent. Give me a high five on that one. Okay, the language, 5 boroughs. In New York, we have 5 boroughs. We refer to them as the 5 boroughs. In Chicago, anybody from Chicago? Yes? So, okay, what do you refer to like the surrounding areas in Chicago? The metropolitan area, some people say Chicagoland, right? Is the suburb, right? So you have to basically, you want to make sure that you're speaking in the way the market talks. Right? So in the Japanese cultures, one of the things we did is we work with different nuances to make the message resonate with local language. So when I was an inside sales rep, and I had a territory like Maryland, which was my territory, my biggest account was Johns Hopkins. Loved Mike Ball, the director of pharmacy there. As a matter of fact, they asked Mike Ball to go out to dinner with me after he bought his first $1 million from me. And I said, I want to go for crab cakes, right? Because in Baltimore, crab cakes. But I said, I want to take you to your favorite restaurant. His favorite restaurant? McDonald's. What he really wanted was the McRib, because it was that time of year that the McRib came out. So it cost me like all of like $7 to treat my biggest account. Now that's a fluke, but the point of the story with the Baltimore was I knew what the Orioles were doing. I knew what the Ravens were doing. I knew what the weather was like going on in Baltimore. And so I would get at that time, the USA Today. The internet wasn't as big as it is today. And I'd get the USA Today and I'd read the local areas about what was going on so I could relate to them and say, oh, by the way, were you impacted by what happened with that high school? Or whatever it was, and it just localized my conversation. So a lot of you are calling into geographies that aren't your geography. You want to get up to speed on what's going on in those local areas so you can localize the message. It's very, very important. All right. Then, after now that I've built rapport, I've built credibility, then I go to 2 hours or less, and that's going to be really the why. Why should you see me? What do I do special?